today. We're going to be making some changes to the setup we've got going on. So right now, our Trackman and our two iPhones, or our Swing cameras, are connected to each other and to the computer via the Trackman Wi-Fi. And that's worked great for about 8 months, but over the last couple of weeks, we've had some issues with it staying connected. So our members have been hitting, and then all of a sudden it loses connection. So we are going to be hardwiring everything into the computer. So the process of that's going to be running some new Cat6 cabling to our iPhone on the right screen, or to the right wall, Cat6 cabling to our rear downline iPhone, and then putting a switch in the cabinet where the computer's at, and then hooking it all up, hooking all these Cat6 cables to that switch, then hooking it into the computer. We're going to start off by moving the computer cabinet over here, just moving that, rolling that turf up, and then start cutting some tape we have there. This is nice and simple. Just slide it carefully so we don't pull out any of the plugs. Yeah, perfect. We're just going to go ahead, peel this turf back up for the third time in the last couple weeks. I have discovered that it's easier to roll it than to fold it, which makes a lot of sense. We're going to just set that right there. Then we're going to need to cut that tape there, but we'll worry about that in just a minute. All right, so we're gonna just get rid of that because I don't know who left that here. This one, it's gonna be easier to just fold back, I think. I do have some USB cable. Ow, shocked me. Some USB cabling running to the computer because I read something that said that was one way to do it, but that was wrong. We have to use Cat6 cabling, which is simple enough. I just didn't have what we needed. Got what we needed here. Good old kind of dull knife, but you know, it should do the job. Gotta cut this double-sided tape, which is unfortunate because this stuff isn't the cheapest, but you know, that's part of doing business, I guess. Wouldn't mind being able to pull that tape up, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. Kind of afraid of cutting the HDMI cable to the second monitor. That would be real unfortunate. Okay, perfect. So there we got the iPhone charger out of it a little bit. I just gotta find where that's connected. Okay, so that's where it's connected to our USB extender. Kneeling on this padding is way better than kneeling on that turf. That turf sucks. Ah! And the tape isn't much better. Ow. Hopefully this mic works well. That's gonna be my first experiment with it. So we got some of the USB extender out so far. We got another one running back there that we'll mess with, but for right now, we're just gonna cut it out. Get it out of the way. That's gonna be the best and fastest solution. So the tape works well though. As you can tell right there, that was caught on camera. Second USB extender. It's going back to here, so So we got one cable here. Gonna remove that. Wow. Sorry, hopefully that wasn't too loud for you guys. Okay, that's one extender, perfect. That's our second extender. All right, guys, so we got two of these lightning to data ports, data accessory cables that go to the iPhones. We got this TP-Link 5-port PoE switch. PoE is important because it's power over Ethernet, so that way our iPhones will be charged without having to add a second, without having to run a second cable to it. So obviously I'm opening it here. There's the switch, nice and compact, will fit behind my computer really well. Extend. So we'll be doing more with that. That's the power cable. Obviously, that's the power box with the rest of the cable. So yeah, pretty simple. Should be pretty easy. They're just your regular Amazon basics, I think. No, they're not even Amazon basics, I don't know. But they're a Cat 7 Ethernet cable, these two, and this one's a Cat 6. And this is the short one going from the switch to the computer. So I guess let's start diving into all that. So this is what the adapter looks like that we went with. Cheap, small, easy. Hopefully it works. Gonna unplug that charger. Go ahead, plug that in. Lights up blue, so it looks like it's working. I don't have scissors or wire cutters with me, so we're just gonna go with the zip tie. Not my favorite way to cut zip ties, but you know, this one's gonna be even sketchier, but you gotta do what you gotta do. You don't come prepared, I guess. Oop. Nope, I don't see a sliver. Make sure we keep track of those. These are just zip tied. That was the easiest, simplest way to get it up there. If I had an idea, if I had a way to do it, I would have liked to run the cable through the leg somehow, but that's just a little too complicated. We're trying to be a little bit simpler here. Okay, so we're gonna take our 25-foot Cat 7 cable. It even comes with little tacks if you want to tack it to the wall or something, but that's not what we're looking to do with it, so hold on to those because those help with cable management and organization. All right, so no caps on there, so let's see if this plugs in. Slides right in. So we're gonna place a zip tie on it there later on. For now, we're just gonna try to get it run a little bit. So we're gonna run this cable. We're gonna go through this little space under the Trackman case next to the other Cat cable that the Trackman is connected via. Just pull it through there. We're gonna roughly route it. Not gonna be too specific about it now. We just want to get the cable through, get it run to the back of the computer, figure out how our cable management's gonna look. Looks like we're gonna have an issue finding a power outlet though. Did not think about that, so figure that out in a minute. The next best thing that we're gonna need to do is just zip tie up here to the table. We want it pretty tight. We're gonna go ahead and plug this in. We can just disconnect that, get rid of it, take that plug off, plug that right in there. And this, we're gonna be running all the way over there, so we'll just fast forward this so you don't have to sit here and watch this for 5 minutes. Okay, so we've got plenty of cable to get to our computer cabinet, so that's good. Just gotta make sure it gets all tucked in here nice and good. So we need to find a plug for our switch, but that's for our speaker, which I'm not a big fan of. That goes to our Trackman, and this goes to our monitors. This cable management might be interesting. That cabinet's going to be full of just a bunch of random cables, unfortunately, but it's kind of what we have to do right now. So we got our switch here plugged in. So we're going to be taking the ties off this Ethernet cable, which is going to be our main one to our computer. We're going to take both of our Ethernet cables to each of our iPhones, and we're going to plug them into any of these ports. We're going to plug into one, and we're going to plug in to Ethernet port 2. We are going to take our Ethernet cable that goes from the Trackman. There, it's a little bit tight. We're going to put it in the last Ethernet port there. And we're going to take our Ethernet that goes from our switch to our computer, plug it in the non-powered one on the switch, find our Ethernet port in here. Kind of hard to do without a whole lot of light. All right, there we go. So our switch should be all hooked up, ready to go. We're just gonna set it in the back for now. We can worry about that cabling at a later date. But that should be good. We want to power on our computer and see, make sure that these iPhones have correct setting. All right, so both iPhones are seeing the Ethernet cable, so that's good. So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead, tape this down, get our turf back in place, and then we're gonna do the rest of the setting up. Now we have to make sure the iPhone's set up properly to be seen by TPS. It's really simple. So obviously you just go to your settings. Let's make sure we're in focus. Good enough. So once we're in the settings here, you're gonna wanna, I personally wanted to turn off the Wi-Fi. I was having some connection issues with the Wi-Fi on. It just kept looking for networks and stuff, even though the Ethernet was plugged in. So turn your Wi-Fi off, and then right under Wi-Fi, Ethernet should pop up, and that just means it's seeing your Ethernet cable. So right there, ours shows USB 10/100 LAN, meaning it's seeing the connection, it's connected. So we're gonna go ahead, close out of the app, get the Trackman Golf app. For us here and our members, we just put it as the only app down on the hotbar. Make it really simple for our members if they ever have to restart the app or restart the phone or something. So Trackman Golf app brings you to the Trackman screen. Click in the circle, and it will automatically connect if your Trackman is on. And there, you may have heard the Trackman or TPS, whatever, make the beeping sound that it makes when it gets a video or when it makes a new connection. And you can do that on both iPhones, and then they'll be connected. It's super easy. Once you have both iPhones connected to the Trackman camera app, you're going to want to come into, let's start over, go to practice, shot analysis, right? Log in as a guest or your account. I like to do auto target just to make sure it's set up every time. This time it took longer, whatever. Say we're on a 7-iron. This is your home page. We're gonna come up here, zoom in on that a little bit. Come up here to where that flash is gonna make it difficult. Where it says camera, and it should be green and show how many cameras you have connected. So I've only got a downline and a head-on for our righties. So go ahead, click that, and then I labeled them as downline and head-on, so I know which camera is which. You can go into the settings here and edit. That's where you change your name, and you can change the different settings you want to do. We're gonna go ahead and close that. Pull this back up. If you uncheck that box, it gets rid of it, and then the camera won't obviously won't be sending videos anymore. So make sure that's selected. Downline, head on. You can do the Trackman camera, but I don't, just because it's pretty dark in here. I think I need to get another spotlight, because the one that Trackman recommends isn't enough to really help that TM4 camera. So I like to unselect that. Get you back down here. And then you can close that. Green means it's good. Hit the 4 squares here, minimize it. Hit your 4 squares to select what you want on the screen. Hit video, and then you're ready to go. Let's just throw a ball to make sure. Let's see if it will read it. Takes a couple seconds, but it should upload. It does take longer than I like, but I'm not sure if that's normal or how that works exactly, but obviously it uploaded. Let's just go to 1.1 speed, and it worked. OT2 is how you change the other camera, and just like that. And then you can come in, draw your lines. With TPS 9.4, which just recently released, this I think is all automated, and they have like an AI that's supposed to help with lines and everything. I just haven't updated the software here yet, just because it's so new. And since it's an unmanned facility, I don't want to run into the issues that end up with like the bugs and everything that may cause my members issues. So we're going to upgrade to that software in probably a month or two, once most of the bugs and kinks are figured out. And that just makes it easier for me and makes it a better experience for my members. And yeah, if you have any questions, drop them down below. Let me know. Do my best to answer them. Or reach out to Trackman, because they'll have the real answer for you, or the right answer. And yeah.